Usyk answers back with a very solid body shot. These body shots are landing super solid. It's just, how many harpoons did it take to bring down Moby Dick? The first 2 rounds are without a doubt Usyk, like without question. The third, the AI scored for Usyk, and the fourth, the AI scored for Usyk. And a lot of people scored the fourth for Fury, including me, and I scored the third for Usyk live. But then for devil's advocate, that's what I'm doing for these analyses. I'm doing devil's advocate. I'm giving Fury the most charitable interpretation possible to see if there's any way he could win this fight with the judges, and we'll see by the end. So because I'm playing devil's advocate, I got it 2-2 heading into the fifth. Now let's talk science. Fury is investing more in that body attack, and particularly he's trying to time Usyk's entry. And you see Usyk is entering with that jab, and he tries to get underneath that jab with a body shot. Usyk again landing that left to the body underneath the extended lead hand of Fury. Fury backs against the ropes, and whenever he's against the ropes, Usyk already probably knows that some offense is coming. Fury switches southpaw. I don't know if he did that on purpose or just as a matter of circumstance, but he flicks a jab. It lands into the guard of Usyk, so it doesn't land on Usyk. He flicks another jab. Usyk slips to the outside of that, but Fury's in southpaw, so he lands a big left to the body, one of his better body shots. And I think this right mostly lands on the elbow, although it does impart force onto Usyk, which I'm sure hurts, but we can't score that. Probably for the entirety of this fight, Usyk is out jabbing Fury. Boom, guard catches Fury's jab, and then he circles around that lead arm side of Fury, the left side, and that gets him to circle away from the right uppercut as he lands his counter jab over top of the now downed guard of Fury on the left side. Fury is trying to line him up by using that jab. He flicks out, and notice what Usyk does. He slips towards the inside, towards Fury's right. So Fury's gonna flick it again to get him to slip inside. This time Usyk actually slips to the outside, and because of that, he did not get blasted with that right hand. So that's good. That's a good job of not repeating patterns on behalf of Usyk. Usyk using his feints and that double jab to back Fury against the ropes. Fury knows he's in a bad position, so he has a few ways he can respond. Sometimes he backs off the ropes with combinations like how he did earlier. This time he's going to crash in. He puts his guard up. He tries to lay on Usyk, but he doesn't establish any real control. And this grappling sequence I highlighted just because it's different compared to the others, because Usyk does not allow Fury to really get a hold of him. Usyk doesn't have to wrestle. He doesn't have to get that shoulder underneath, establish bicep control, push up, use his legs, exert a lot of force. Really, he just gets around and underneath Fury, and he avoids the grappling exchange entirely. There's no real grappling exchange, basically, which is the best case scenario for Usyk. Now, this sequence is important to look at for a couple of reasons. Usyk defending the jab like how he's been doing, and Fury tries to line up that backhand, and it partially grazes because Usyk kind of slips out of the way, and then Fury tries to land this body shot, and it looks like that almost entirely lands on the arm. But notice the different approach in defense. As Fury is throwing this combo, Fury's arms are low, chin in the air. He's kind of getting down on Usyk's level at times, and Usyk is tightly defending himself, and you know, he's respecting Fury. Fury's not respecting him, and we see a similar type of incident where Fury gets punished for that. Fury feinting with that lead shoulder, getting reactions out of Usyk, flicks a jab that's not meant to land, meant to guard manipulate, and then he throws out a blinder jab as he comes around the side, and that body shot does partially land. As Fury is getting more comfortable in this fight, he's initiating more front foot attacks where he's initiating, and he's coming forward. He steps forward, kind of like his feet are kind of off balance. He falls forward with a cross. It switches him into southpaw. And what is Usyk doing? He's staying defensive and looking for countering opportunities, particularly that right hook. The sequence looks very interesting to something that's going to happen later on in the fight. One of the most interesting things to look at when it comes to size disadvantages is how guards crumple differently. Like when Fury's getting hit on his high guard, he just like bounces around and smiles. When Fury jabs at Usyk's high guard, it kind of crashes in, and then Usyk braces, and that right cross just rips through. It crumbles Usyk's high guard and lands clean. No matter how strong that guard is, that right hand just boom crashes through. that's part of what makes this performance so impressive, is because Usyk is at such a big 15% body weight size disadvantage. But that's not, to favor one side or the other, because Usyk also has advantages like reflexes and speed and agility and coordination. But Fury has size and power and reach and so on and so forth. Everyone has advantages and disadvantages. It's just the size disadvantage is quite interesting to watch. But ultimately, that's what skill is all about. Skill is all about maximizing your strong attributes, minimizing your weak attributes, and maximizing your opponent's opposites. So maximizing their weaknesses and minimizing their strengths. And I mentioned reactions in the beginning because let's say Fury lands a body shot. He partially lands a shot right there, knocks Usyk off balance. It's just these shots are so much more impactful. And let's look at a Usyk body shot. And I mentioned reactions in the beginning because of examples like this, where when Fury lands to the body, it contorts Usyk, resets him, knocks him off balance. And when Usyk lands a really good body shot, Fury kind of like jumps with it. Sometimes he doesn't even react at all. That makes it look more effective than what it is, because Fury was really shaking off these body shots, but he has like a polar bear body, so it kind of comes with the territory. Earlier, we just talked about skill, maximizing your advantages, minimizing your disadvantages. Fury has the advantage of being so hard for Usyk to get up to the level to. And Fury does a dangerous thing right here of getting down to the level of Usyk. And as on his way to try and get back up, Usyk crashes his jaw with that right hook, but Fury just swipes his nose, acts like nothing happened. And that's why I try to say that prior to the 9th round, Usyk wasn't hurting Fury. He was landing great shots. He was outboxing Fury, but he wasn't hurting him. Even the rounds where Fury is winning, Usyk is having his moments, but Fury is starting to get some bigger reactions out of Usyk. And as we enter these middle rounds, again, I'm playing devil's advocate. And so the real score might be like 3-2 Usyk, maybe even 4-1, but I'm giving the worst case scenario. So it's 3-2 Fury right now. Fury starting the 6th round, I think similar to how he started the 4th, has a rhythm he's establishing, enters behind the jab, level changes. Now again, Fury is adapting. Uppercut, he tries to time that entry with the uppercut, but the outside foot positioning of Usyk allows him to avoid that. The positioning is getting Usyk out of so many dangerous situations. Fury stepping around, feinting, and then he lands a very solid jab right there. Usyk answers back with a very solid body shot. These body shots are landing super solid. It's just, how many harpoons did it take to bring down Moby Dick? And that's what Usyk is doing. He's landing to the body over and over and over and over, and Fury is just like shaking it off and like flicking his tongue and doing all that crazy shit that he does. Usyk is mostly dominating this lead hand battle here. He gets outside the lead hand, kind of smacks it down just a little bit. He gets outside, aligns his left, closes the distance, blasts Fury with a nice shot right there. As Fury is getting more comfortable, he's starting to elaborate on different types of counters to the entries of Usyk. So a lot of times it was the uppercut, and now he's starting to throw that left hook to counter Usyk, but obviously Usyk is getting underneath these shots. Defense is impeccable this fight. Now this is a shot I was expecting Fury to throw more. He kind of throws out a jab that's only meant to get Usyk moving laterally by slipping, and once he does, he times that and with that slappy left hook that's kind of, it's hard to see coming. It's hard to deal with the angle and the length of that left hook, and I thought he would have been using that more because of Usyk's constant slips, but he didn't use that much. But he circles out, and it's hard for Usyk to land responsive shots. So there's 2 positioning battles that Usyk dominates, and we talked about this with the Loma versus Kambosos breakdown. Macro positioning versus micro positioning. Micro positioning is where his feet are in his guard, which makes it hard for Fury to hit him. That's what's getting him out of the way defensively. But offensively, when it comes to consistency and him winning these rounds, he's feigning. When he sees Fury is close to the ropes, he's going to take advantage of that by upping the aggression, doubling down to get Fury against the ropes. And now macro positioning wise, in relation to like the grand scheme of things, Fury is in a bad positioning in the ring. And let's say Fury wants to turn away from shots like how he's been doing. Now he can't turn away as much, and these shots are landing because Fury's in a bad part of the ring where his movement is limited. So Usyk is dominating with micro positioning with his feet, getting in at the right angles with his guard, defending the right shots. And then macro positioning, he's putting Fury in bad parts of the ring where Fury has limited options, limited space to move and make decisions that Fury would otherwise be capable of making if they were in the center of the ring. Couple important things about the sequence. Fury's on the front foot with this combo. which is why it finds some elements of success. Double jab, the first jab gets blocked, second jab partially lands, and I'm pretty sure this cross misses because if it would have landed, Usyk's head would have shot back and it would have got a bigger reaction. The other thing to look at is what is Fury doing defensively. He's kind of falling forward like how he's been doing, chin in the air, hands down, and Usyk is focused on, and he flicks a backhand. Usyk is focused on defense, and because of that, he doesn't counter in this particular situation. But what happens when he gets used to these sequences? A pattern that plays down and later in the fight. Lead hand guides and blinds for the right to the body as he lands a nice shot to the body, but obviously Usyk's not hurt, he's just knocked off balance, and it may have been that Fury stepped on his foot. But regardless, those types of moments, in that moment, live watching the fight, the judges see that and they're like, oh, that's a big shot. Fury's lead hand guides the backhand jab down the middle. He's expecting Usyk to slip inside. Usyk does, and so that right hook partially gets around the guard, lands on the jaw. But Usyk shows he's not affected, instantly responds, lands a good jab. And then Fury's trying to respond to the jab, right, goes over top of Usyk. Nice defense from Usyk. And then that left gets boom right under the guard. That's a good left hook to the body from Fury. Fury is reactive. He's waiting. He's looking. He sees Usyk slowly creeping into range, and he sees Usyk step in with that jab. That triggers the trap. Fury was waiting for that. Usyk steps in with a jab. Fury kind of like feints with the lead arm, gets Usyk to duck upon entry, because that's what Usyk's been doing. He's been level changing the entry, and this time he finally aligns that uppercut. And when it lands, it gets the biggest reaction out of Usyk so far. Usyk is hurt, his legs are shaking a little bit, and Fury goes on the aggression. Fury does a smart thing. Instead of going head hunting, he flicks the jabs out to pull that guard up. He's playing with that guard so that he can open up, boom, and land to the body. We were talking about Fury just crushing through his guard earlier. Here the jab is powerful enough to lift Usyk's elbow all the way up. But since he's loading up on so many of these shots, Usyk sees him coming. He gets down, and I'm pretty sure he mostly blocks that, although you see his arm shoot inward. The power difference is just crazy. And then he slaps that left around the guard that surprises Usyk and opens up the guard. And then Fury comes around the other side with a right hook. Good combo from Fury. But Usyk does an important thing. After circling around, using his feet to get room to recover, he starts to answer back. And not too much of significance lands in this combo. He lands a grazing right and a grazing left. But he's going back on the aggressive. He's trying to prove to Fury that it's not going to be easy to just like walk me down. He's basically fighting back instead of just running the whole time. They both try to time a jab at the same time. Fury's shoulder is inside of Usyk's shoulder, so he blasts through Usyk's jabs, the power difference, and those heavy long arms, and he catches Usyk on the jaw. Now this is the most comfortable Fury has been in the fight so far. You see him in the corner playing around with that right hand, and he times Usyk entering in with a nice left hook that definitely surprises Usyk, knocks him off balance. Now in those earlier rounds when he was in the corner clowning, he was losing those rounds. But this round he's actually having success, so he has a reason to be goofing around, and he's actually building offense off of these tricky movements. But Usyk shows the importance of not having a static high guard. He's not just standing there. He turns with the shot, so that shot lands on the shoulder, and he tries to turn with this shot, but those colossal squid arms of Fury just get it. They're so hard to deal with, the shots of Fury. And that hook gets around the guard because the range. And then Fury circles out, avoids the left hand, and he goes to the corner. Now, the Devil's Advocate card reads the first 2 rounds for Usyk, and the last 4 rounds going to Fury. Again, that's Devil's Advocate. That's not the score I actually had. I think I had 3-3. But my whole goal is to look at the trajectory and structure of this fight for 1, and then for 2 to see if there's any way that Fury could have won this in the judges' eyes. Now we should definitely get a double upload today because I'm getting this one out pretty early. I will see y'all later, fight scientists. I'm out.